Hey, everybody. We're looking at grid number 2 for motion. Okay. And we're down here at the bottom because the rest of the grid's not finished yet, but it'll get there. Don't worry. But we're going to get started on the beginning here, the basics, right? So I can measure length. You can read. Okay. So you'll notice here that everything's not clickable. The only things that are clickable, there's a couple links that you can click one to a video. There's a couple answer keys that are clickable here. Um, and then there's a clickable for the mastery check. That's it. Well, where do you actually access all of this stuff? So what I've done is I've gone ahead and changed it over to being accessible from Google Classroom so that I can see what you're doing all the time because I couldn't see where people are at. So last time in the tracking sheet, if someone didn't fill it out, I had no idea where they were, what kind of work they had done. So instead, we're going to do it this way. So come with me over to Google Classroom. Here we are, classwork tab. Okay, here's your motion grid. So if you click here, material grid to motion grid plus tracking sheet. So here is access to the grid, and then here is your tracking sheet for your class period. So you can click that open, and you'll be able to follow along just like you would in the other tracking sheet. So you can still take these, copy them, put them in your Google Drive in your grids folder. That's totally fine. You can still do all of that. It's just also accessible from here. Okay, so that's that. Then you see grid 2 level 1A, level 1B, level 1C, level 1D. I'll add a level 1E, and then we'll add level 2, level 3, etc. Okay, as we go. So let's look at level 1A. So level 1A now has the same items that are listed in the grid. So if we go back to our grid, you'll see it has a 1, a 2, and a 3. There's 3 things you should do in level 1. Okay, back here in level 1, there's 1, 2, 3, and they're all listed in order, and they're titled Metric System Video and Notes, Metric System Unit Conversion Practice with Answer Key, Length Measurement Video plus Practice with Answer Key. Okay, so this first item here, Metric System, this is going to be the video and the notes. It's blank because you can make your own notes as you go. You can also use paper. You'll see the instructions here when you click on it. If you click on this item, and it opens, you can still choose to make a copy of this item, right? It actually makes a copy with your name on it. You can still choose to change it to the same naming convention we were using before, where you do grid 2A, 1A metric system, first initial last name, and you can still move it to your grids folder using the move button. You can still do all the exact same stuff. I just realized that I can also still see your progress. So for this one, you're not going to actually turn this one in, but that's how you access that document. Okay. So let's click on one that you might actually turn in. So here's your metric system one. When it opens your copy, you'll see it. Um, there's a question here. You can see there's a link to the video in case you need it. And then down below, here is the actual work you're doing. And then here's a link to the answer key. So you can click right here to go to the answer key to check your work at any time. Okay. So that's how you're going to access these items. And you're going to be doing a little bit of self feedback on these. So it's important for you to think about, okay, I have the answer key. What does that mean? That means that the stakes are super low, right? But if you just copy the answer key, you're getting nothing out of this. But if you check your work with the answer key and you realize I keep making the same mistake or I keep missing problems, then it's time for you to reach out to get extra assistance. And that's how you know to mark S for stuck or Q for question in your grid before you move on. It's totally okay to mark something like that and then go on. Just make sure you actually do try your best. Okay, there's another item here for measuring length. You'll see that's how it works. That's kind of how it works the whole way through. Okay, so that's kind of how you're accessing everything, and it tells you what to turn in and what not to turn in and things like that. Again, remember, this stuff is all supposed to be for practice, except for the mastery check is to see how you're doing. If you do well on the mastery check and you get the 4, then you're done with level 1 and you'll be able to bump up to level 2. If you don't get a 4 or if you don't get a 4 on our scoring system, right, a mastery check, then you'll have an opportunity to go back and revisit some of that stuff. That's what 1E is going to be about. It just isn't posted yet because I'm a little slow. Okay. So that's kind of how that's going to work. If you have any questions, just let me know. Good luck. Have fun.